Thanks for joining us, everyone, for the WYCC After Show. And we're continuing our discussion now on President Obama's executive order on gun control, expanding background checks. Alana, what's your opinion of this?
My opinion is, you asked how it will or will it impact Chicago. Federal law is essential to help the gun violence in Chicago. As Ron pointed out, we already have a mayor who enforced the strictest gun control laws probably in the country. His attempt to keep gun sales out of the city was overturned by a federal court. As you brought up, 60% of guns used in crimes in the city come from states with weaker, like Indiana, with weaker gun laws. If we can't get the help from the federal government, it really is impossible, no matter what this mayor does, no matter what the city does, to get control of what really is an epidemic in this country. And, you know, it's weak. It's a question whether executive order is the way to go, but when you have no other avenue, after Sandy Hook, 90% of this country was behind tighter gun control. 84% of gun owners, 74% of NRA owners supported tighter gun laws, and they still couldn't pass it in the Senate. And we're not even talking about banning assault rifles. We're not talking about limiting gun magazines, which could kill 30 kids and did in 20 seconds. Even just the tighter background checks couldn't be passed. So there is an argument in those situations for executive orders. We need it. It's weak. It's a start. Chicago needs the help of federal governments. All cities do in this country.
Should the conversation, though, be about poverty and lack of jobs and gangs and drugs, not as much on background checks?
It's always part of the conversation whenever you get into discussion of criminal justice and, frankly, societal problems. Folks without hope, people without education, without jobs, without opportunities for hopefulness and a life apart and separate from, frankly, probably tough beginnings is always a part of the conversation. But what isn't, and I didn't watch the president's speech, I did see parts of it in the media. We have to remember something too, though. When we try and put restrictions on keeping bad people, from guns, we can't impinge on the rights of folks, particularly people in tough, disadvantaged neighborhoods who have yearned for the ability to defend themselves. And while Alana's right, the mayor and other mayors of big cities have tried to say these are gun-free zones. We have this thing called the United States Constitution, which talks about individual rights, and we don't want to stomp and trample on the rights of individuals, including people who I have met when the debate was over 2 years ago about concealed carry, that live in tough neighborhoods that want to be safe in their homes and feel like this is something they want to own, not a machine gun and nothing crazy. These are law-abiding citizens who want to protect their family. And so we got to be mindful of that as well.
84% of gun owners supported tighter gun controls. 90% of the people in this country, 74% of NRA members, and we couldn't even get that. So we are talking about the most basic.
But remember something, the folks that get a FOID card in Illinois and get a concealed carry license, I haven't seen one person yet convicted of a crime, let alone some massive, horrific crime, when they registered and have followed the law, because there's a distinct distinction between those who play by the rules and those who don't.
Well, so, I want to point out also that when the president was referring to all these mass shootings, the majority of the shooters in those cases did pass a background check.
Yeah, I think the thing that is most profound about this executive order is that it turns the conversation to gun control and specifically gun violence. Because when I was looking at what the president is proposing, the thing that stood out to me the most is more dollars invested in mental health care, right? So that is a huge issue. And then also dollars invested in understanding why so much gun violence exists in our country, right? And so it gets back to your original question, what really should the focus be on? The focus absolutely should be on poverty, on education, on investing in the things that we know creates a society where people don't have to be violent towards one another. But in order for us to get to that point, I do think that we have to look at the the outcome of what not looking at those things has caused. So basically, the gun violence that we see is a result of the poverty. It is a result of the income inequality. It is a result of lack of education, lack of access to jobs, all those types of things. But by President Obama making this a national conversation, I'm hoping that we'll be able to really get to the root causes.
He has
of
made
this
it a
problem.
national conversation before.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time it's come up. And, you know, he failed with passing more stricter orders in the Senate.
Yeah.
You know, the question is, whatever the president's doing, what's going to change here? We keep seeing sort of the same pattern here in Chicago.
But look at the same pattern. You know, there is the terrible question may be, what if there was a video in Sandy Hook? It's hard to even consider. It's horrendous for anyone who's a parent or not a parent to even imagine. Part of the conversation before about what's happening in Chicago now is that what I think governors and mayors haven't realized is the power of the outcry of the video is that it puts political wind behind things that couldn't be changed before. So the mayor now, I believe, has an opportunity to challenge an entrenched, very powerful police union that has a mafia-style like code of silence around the country. Similarly, you have an NRA that is so entrenched in our politics, so many congressmen and women are in their pockets, that vote, even though 90% of Americans supported tighter gun control, couldn't pass in the Senate. So the importance of this conversation and continued conversations, and maybe the importance of videos now happening, is that something has to give. We are the only industrialized civilization, even in other countries with poverty, where you have this level of gun violence every single day. And in Chicago, we feel it terribly with the gun violence. It's not the whole story, but guns, access to guns, straw purchases of guns by people who are able to register are dangerous and problems. And it is impossible to get on top of it, even with the strictest law enforcement, even with the best law enforcement, without the help of the federal government.
Yeah. One of the questions that we always ask our students at our school when they're tackling problems is who benefits, right, from this epidemic, or who benefits from this problem. And when you look at the United States, where we have more guns than any other country, any other in the world,
Right.
Who's benefiting from that? Our communities are not benefiting. The citizens of Chicago are not benefiting. The young children who were at Sandy Hook, though people in this country don't benefit from so many guns being in circulation in our country. And so I do think that we do need to get that problem under control. But that's only part of the problem. The
Right.
real problem is, why do people have to why are people resorting to lethal force and to violence within these communities?
All great points from all of you. Once again, thanks to our guests, State Rep. Ron Sandak, Nikisha Hobbs, and Dr. Alana Baum. Thank you for coming.